Alright, this is a tutorial on how to use the Admin Help Docs plugin. First thing we need to do is install it. So we're going to go ahead and go to Plugins and Add New. And then we're going to search for Admin Help Docs. And then we'll scroll down until we find it. Here we have it by APOS 37. We're going to install and activate. And we can go to settings from here, or we can just look at the help docs on the left side. And let's just click on this. It'll go to the documentation page. Since we don't have any documentation, we're going to add a new one. And this will be, let's just say we're going to teach people how to install a plugin. And go ahead and make a list. Down here we have a description, and all this is used for is to summarize the document for the admin list table when we manage the documents, and I'll show you that in just a bit here. It's completely optional. If you don't include it, it's just going to add part of the page up here. It's kind of like the excerpt for any other post type. Down below you have a location section, and this is where you're going to specify where the document is going to live on the page or on the website. So we will go ahead and select the site location, and we're going to choose main documentation page to start with, and we'll go over the other ones in just a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and publish. We can go back to our documentation page, and we'll see that we've added it here. Go ahead and add another one. We'll leave the description blank and go to main documentation page, publish. Go back to the documentation page, and you can see that this one replaced it. So when you first load up the documentation page, it's going to load the most recent one that you've added, or it will order it however you specify. You can change the order by simply dragging it like so. And you'll notice now if you go to manage documents, you can see that the order has changed. So before they were both 0 when I set them up originally, but now we've reordered them. So if you want something to come first no matter what, you can always set the order to a negative number. Now, if we don't want something on the Admin Help Docs main page, we can put it on any other page around the site. So let's go back to please do not edit this page. Click on edit, or we can do so by going to manage and edit. And then we're going to go to site location, and let's go ahead and change this to dashboard. And then update. Now if we go to our dashboard, we can see that it's been added to the dashboard as a dashboard widget. We can go back to edit and change this to, say, the settings page, the general settings page. And now we have some options. Any other page is going to give you a page location. So you can put it at the top, the bottom, or contextual help tab. The contextual help is going to be at the top next to the screen options, and I'll show you where that is when we get to it. For now, let's go to top, page location, update, and then we're going to go to settings and then the general tab, and you can see that it's placed at the top. Now if I want it to at the bottom, I can go back to manage docs, edit, and change it to bottom, and then update. And then let's go back to settings general, and you can see that it's placed at the bottom. Now, Up at the top, you can see this help section. This is built into WordPress by default, and we can add a new tab here with our help doc. So let's go back to Help Docs, Manage, Edit, Contextual Help tab, Update. Then go back to Settings General. You can see that it's gone from the bottom and the top. And now if you go to Help, you can see that it's here. Let's go back to Help Docs, Manage, Edit. Now if we choose Post Page Admin List Screen, for example, that's going to be any post type. The post types will show up here. So you have posts, pages, help documents are the ones that we're creating now, and imports, which is also a part of this plugin. And let's say we want it at the top. Can update it. Then we'll go to posts, and you can see it's at the top. Now, if we go back to Manage, Edit, and we change this to the Post Page Edit screen, we can go back to Posts, and then we go to Edit the post. I've added a plugin called Classic Editor, and what that does is it allows you to choose between Classic and Block Editor. So we're going to go ahead and edit with the Classic Editor. You can see that it was added to the top. Let's go to back and we'll go to Block Editor. And you can see that it's added up here. If we go back, let's edit. And now on the page location, you can see that a side has been added. So we'll go ahead and go to side, and we can set our priority to high or low. We're going to go ahead and just leave it as default. And then we're going to go to our editor. We can go to the Classic Editor, and we can see that it's right over here on the side. Let's go back and go to the Block Editor, and we can see that it's added down here. Now, if we go to Contextual Help, go back to Posts. On the Classic Editor, you're used to seeing it up here, which it is. But if you go to the Block Editor, normally that Help tab isn't up here. So what I've done is add a Help button to the top right, and now you can have your contextual help here as well. So let's go back. This time we're going to select Admin Bar Menu. When we update this, nothing's going to happen yet because we haven't enabled it in the settings. So let's go to the settings. And at the very top, you see Enable Admin Bar Menu Quick Link. We'll save the changes, and you can see that it showed up here. So you can see we have Please Do Not Edit This Page, which was the title, and then Not After What Tom Did During Christmas Break is the body of the document. Now, because the admin help is limited to what you can do, you cannot add HTML or images to this. It's only going to recognize text. So it's going to strip out any other tags that you add. But you can add a link. So by doing that, we can just change this to a link. And then update. And now, if you go to it, you'll see that it's been turned into a link. And if you look at the bottom left corner, you can see that it shows the link for Google. So you can link to different documentation if you want, which is really helpful. Now we're going to go to settings. We can do all kinds of things to customize our plugin. So up here you can change the menu icon. So if you look over here, you can see that these are the question marks. We can change this to whatever we want. We can do a flag. You can see that it already changed in real time. Let's say we want to change it to info outline. And then we can also view all of them at once by going to that page. And then we can choose a different logo. So what that will do is replace this one up here with your own. We can change the page title to say something like Help for Dummies. We can hide the version number if we want to, although not recommended because I might need you to find the version number if you ever need support. The menu title is this one over here. You can change that as well. The menu position is going to place it up or down on the menu. So if we want it at the very top, we can change that to 1. This won't be a live preview, so we'll have to save it to see where it goes. So let's go ahead and save it as is. And you can see it jump to the top above the dashboard. You can also change the left footer text and the right footer text down below. And those are on all of the pages of the admin area. So if we wanted to change this to something like let's put this in a link. And you can see that it's changed at the bottom. I'll leave the right footer text alone. Over here you can change the roles that can add or edit new help sections. Right now it's set to admins only. Allow public by default is something else that we can talk about in a bit. Now we can also change the colors. So let's start by changing the background color to, let's say, something like that. If we click off, you can see that it changed. Do the title color and the link color. So you can see it happening right now. We'll save the changes. And what this does is it changes it throughout the settings pages, the documentation as well. And then if you go to any of the help docs, you can see they change there as well. So if we go to manage, you can see that we have the admin bar and the main documentation page. Let's go ahead and change this back to a regular message and go to, say, the dashboard. And then we'll go to our dashboard and you can see that the colors have also changed there. Now, let's say we've made all of these changes and we want these changes to be reflected on another site that we manage. So what I did was I added another site here, already installed the plugin, so it's ready to go. And you can see that the settings are default. And let's say I want all of these settings to be on this site. Now I can go to, at the very bottom of settings, you can see copy settings from another site. If you click on the settings link, it'll copy it to your clipboard. Go to the other site under settings, copy settings from another site, and you're going to paste it here. And then hit import settings. And then when you go back to any of the pages, you can see that they took effect. And if you go back, the link is going to stay there so that you can always re-import them at any time without having to go and locate the settings link and repasting it in there. But it's not going to keep it updated live. Now if I wanted to import documents as well, I can go to Imports, Add New. I'll just add a title. Don't need a description. If I want to, I can. And then change the URL here. And if I go to Preview Raw Data, you can see that right now there's nothing to import. So either go to Settings and change my Allow Public by default to Yes. And that's going to allow all of my documents to be public by default. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to go to my documents. And let's say I just want this one to be imported. So I'm going to change Allow Public to Yes and Update. Now if I go here and I click on Preview Raw Data, you can see that all the information is here. So I can go ahead and hit Save Draft. And now I can choose to either feed this automatically or import it locally. So if I hit Feed and then Publish, what that does is it will add it. It's adding it to the dashboard. So I can go to the dashboard now. Oh, it's not there. So if I go back, oh, there it is. I need to enable this site. So now I can update. Then go to my dashboard, and there it is. Now by automatically feeding it, I don't have to make any changes on this site anymore. I can just on my host site, I can make changes here and update. And now all I have to do is refresh my dashboard and you can see that it changed. If I wanted to import it, I can do so. I can go ahead and go to my import. And instead of feeding it, I can choose import. Because right now, if I go to manage, nothing is going to be here because I didn't actually import it. I didn't make it. It's not living on this site. So let's go back to imports. And instead of feeding it, we're going to import it. So we imported it. Now I can manage it here. So let's go ahead and not feed that anymore. Now if I do want to feed everything automatically, let's go ahead and go over here to the host site. Let's manage and click on the other one that we created. And let's put this on the plugins page and change this to, we'll just take off the first one because you're already at the plugins page. And then we're going to allow public. Update. Now over here, if we just refresh the page, we'll see that we have both of them allowed. Instead of individually feeding them, I can just choose to feed all of them automatically. So we'll hit update. So now anytime I add a new document over here, it's going to automatically add it to the site. Let's go ahead and on the remote site, we'll go to the plugins. You'll see that it's added here. And you also have the dashboard. There it is. Other than that, you also have frequently asked questions, as well as an About tab. On here you can rate and review the plugin, which is greatly appreciated. You can send me a quick note on how we can improve, and that will just email it to me. We have planned updates as well. You can also find my other plugin. And that is it.